Okay.
Do you want me to just let 15 minutes ring out rather than having an intricate hand thing and then just stop?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that sounds good. So thanks for coming to presentation night. I'm so fucking excited that people are here. Today is the 1-year anniversary of me joining the SCA, and I'm so excited to, be here with all of you. Obviously, this is kind of what we're doing. The actual entire history of video games. We are just about to reach 75 years, so we have a lot to get through. So I'm going to give you a little guide to this, right? On your left is going to be captions for what I'm saying. You might want to use them. On your right is going to be some demonstration of the games that we're going to go through today. And at top is going to be some information that you might want and or need that I'm not going to tell you. So, let's go. Creation. Interactive recreational video. Interactive means you're manipulating what happens on screen using inputs. Recreational means you're doing it for personal enrichment, art, community, competition, growth, self-care. Video means you're using a universal display capable of rendering arbitrary images. Discussing that any further is a Pandora's box of pedantry, trust me. The first game to qualify is Christopher Strachey's Draughts from 1951. It's a British university research project with a cool hack of memory display technology, but it's just checkers, really. Over the next 20 years, video games would go from official research projects to fun-loving outlaws squatting in the margins of government supercomputers. 1962 Space War is the famous one, made at MIT by the Tech Model Railroad Club. Literally sneaking in at night, the original hackers invented every technique they used, and even 9 years later, the first failed arcade machines were simply clones of the classic. Oh no, capitalism! In 1972, Ralph Baer patented the concept of video games and released the Magnavox Odyssey, a box with the power to display 3 white squares on your TV. Somehow, technically, they put out 28 games for it. One of them is Pong, a tennis game immediately stolen by Nolan Bushnell, built by Al Alcorn, and released for arcades by Atari the same year. The first hit game by a country mile it defined design until fucking Pac-Man. Foundation. Atari released Breakout in 1976 with help from Steve Woz and Jobs, for real. It's one-player Pong, but now the ball destroys blocks. Massive innovation. Then in 1978 came possibly the biggest advancement ever made in games. It's Breakout, but the blocks shoot you, you shoot the blocks move, there's sound and shootable shields, and fucking bedlam. It's Space Invaders by Tomohiro Nishikado. It made the modern equivalent of $13 billion, single-handedly assuring that video games were here to stay in the arcades and at home. But how are computers doing? They're in your house now. Text adventures are one set of software making the move from mainframes to desktops. These games let you explore an entire world by reading about it and typing in your actions. Housewife Roberta Williams knows she can do one better and recruits her husband to program the first graphical adventure game in 1980, Mystery House. She defined the genre for over a decade, becoming the first woman and dedicated game designer in her field. But most people at home are playing on the weaker and cheaper Atari console. An employee there wants to make an adventure game for it, but he can't use any text, so they give the player direct control, letting you move continuously through a world larger than the screen for basically the first time ever. You unlock doors, slay dragons, and complete a quest without a single stat or text box, except for the first Easter egg in gaming, Warren Robinette's signature. Sole creators went commonly uncredited on consoles at this time. The arcade, meanwhile, is getting real bro-y. Toru Iwatani, having never met a woman, thinks surely they like food, and thus Pac-Man is born. He's an absolute sensation in the West, being the first explosion of games into the cultural mainstream. Novelty single Pac-Man Fever hits number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. But the game grants gravity. Each monster's unique AI spawns whole strategy guides, and the Maze Chase genre invades arcades for years to come. As games get more accessible, though, something massive is brewing in the darkest corners of computing. Back in 1974, Dungeons & Dragons released, a system that uses statistics to regulate group play and is Tolkien-esque theater of the mind. Every computer in the US was instantly occupied with the same idea. However, it wasn't until 1981 that 2 games would come to define the RPG genre, Ultima and Wizardry. Held back by hardware, these arcane games still allow you not only to explore a new world, but to become somebody within it. It is the birth of the Avatar. Gestation. Back on home systems, though, games are still small. Designers got tired of Atari paying fuck all with no credit and left to launch Activision. Putting games on another company's console had never happened, and it took years to win the lawsuit legalizing third-party game developers. It absolutely could have gone differently. Activision treated their devs like rock stars, and the games were good too. David Crane's Pitfall, for example, the 255-screen-spanning platformer, Ultima be damned, this is Jack Black's first role. Ring the Apocalypse Call. 2 years later, every game company in the US had an Atari game. Some bad, some war crimes. Atari saved the day by inventing licensed movie tie-in games and giving one guy 6 weeks to make them. E.T. is the piss-poor poster child of the 1983 American console crash, but honestly, it looks great, it plays fine, and it's a real innovator in context-sensitive design. Try Airlock or Bachelor Party if you want to know why people ran screaming to home computing. Sorry, I'm being told America isn't the center of the universe. Europe is on a whole different path. Their computers are super weak with games on cassette, but that means anyone can make them. Companies pay kids to release hobby projects on store shelves. Innovation is going crazy, but the games barely function. Actual company Ultimate Play the Game, luckily renamed Rare, leads the charge in pseudo 3D isometric puzzle adventures with physics and persistent objects. Hell of a start anyway. Unification. Oh, shit. Back in 1981, Japanese developer Nintendo had a surprise hit with Donkey Kong, a genre-defining platform with cartoon characters like Mario. The company then released the most powerful game console on Earth in 1983. By 85, America was still a wasteland, so Nintendo Trojan horsed their way in, polishing the Famicom into a VHS-looking toy called the NES. It may have worked were it not for Super Fucking Mario, the back-end title, smooth scrolling through 32 varied levels with countless secrets. Mario moves with weight, fluidity, and precision. It is impossible to overstate its impact, but we have to move on to a revolution in player choice. Ultima's getting black with a classic pastime, killing NPCs of all kinds. Richard's response with one of the most important games of all time, Ultima 4. This is a journey of self-discovery. No big bad boss here. There are 8 virtues to work on. Feeding the poor and donating blood are required to win this game. No morality system comes close for the next 25 years. Historical anomaly ahead of its time in all realms of design, but it's a little asinine. Japan just discovered the RPG, but it's not quite J. Yuji Horii decides to combine the best aspects of Ultima and Wizardry into a Famicom game people actually want to play. With no keyboard to contend with, he makes it with menus genuinely generating the JRPG, but who gives a shit about maze-like menus? So he gets Akira Toriyama, the mangaka, to make them bearable. Dragon Ball Man makes Dragon Quest best Dragon Kids are requested from their parents, huh? Intuitive action, a sprawling world, character progression, complex but accessible mechanics. The ingredients were there, but the kitchen was empty until Zelda 2 started cooking. One of the most influential games of all time. It came to be crucified in the West for a bunch of bullshit. It takes an RPG world and character growth, platformer movement and secrets, proto-Metroidvania exploration and moveset progression, and ties it all together with a homegrown dynamic swordplay system. It's crazy. Pandora's box of play, the birth of AAA, these ideas hit the ground running and they never stop. Perfection. It's been a no-no till now if you want a game on the go. Red LEDs on a plastic field or Mario in the Vietnam War on a watch. I'll play Punch Buggy. But now the Game Boy's got going, an upgrade under the hood from the NES with a screen so bad you can afford it. The killer app comes to us from the Kremlin. Tetris is the chess of our time, making Nintendo's Game Boy the natural console for the casual market. But how about the hardcore? The arcade is overrun with a new kind of fun. 2D fighters let kids compete head-to-head with a super high skill ceiling, and Mortal Kombat cranks it to 11. Secret finishing moves, hidden characters, esoteric arenas, it's all the ingredients of a social phenomenon in every local laundromat. But its photorealistic gore sparks satanic panic parents to pressure the industry into making the ESRB, starting games down the path from family friend to public enemy. Riding that wave is a little indie dev called Id Software. They've been iterating on a new idea, shooting people in first person. The cliche king of code, John Carmack, has found a way to put convincing 3D on any PC put out in the past 5 years. Doom is the moment computers outpace consoles. It's the emergence of community mods, online deathmatch, LAN parties, and the anti-atheist attitude of a new gaming culture. FPS games explode, becoming the default for decades. Realization. Nintendo fucked up. Sony was the perfect partner to make a CD add-on for the SNES, but Nintendo betrayed them last minute. Now Joker-fied, Sony wanted revenge. Cutting-edge 3D, CD quality audio, dirt cheap games, massive storage, and the most accessible developer experience ever made, all for $2.99. The same year as Super Metroid. Everyone lost their minds, but it was Europe's time to shine. They'd been pumping 3D graphics and EDM through a digital straw for years before the PSX powered their pipe dreams. And it took Nintendo 2 years to cook up a comeback. They squeezed 100K computer for CGI movies into a 64-bit cartridge console. A PS1 is an AK, N64 is a rocket launcher. 3 games a year worth a damn, but damn are they worth it. Mario 64 is the most important 3D game ever made. A single team crafted the entire modern language of third-person movement and camera mechanics from thin air. History is only simple right now. PS1 the battle, but 64 the war. Let's give a meanwhile welcome to the World Wide Web. Online RPGs have been cooking for a while now. We got our first taste in the 70s, but it wasn't until Al Gore invented the internet that massively multiplayer was put in MMORPG. Ultima Online wasn't the first, but it was the biggest, with over 100,000 players, an actual story in a simulated world, and regular expansions. It started online gaming properly, with designer Richard Garriott's decades-long avatar, Lord British, getting killed by a hacker day one. High-tech to rock bottom, the Game Boy's still going. Writers of fanzine Game Freak decided to put an RPG bug battle around the poor thing, somehow resulting in the single largest grossing media franchise in human history? I'd like to take a second to ask, what the fuck happened? Right idea at the right time, sure, but Game Freak was also friends with Nintendo executives, which helps. The other secret was social, trade and battle with friend and foe, play the cards and watch the show, a Pokedex for the chosen few with Pikachu and Mewtwo anyway. Doom was a big deal, sure, but it's a boomer shooter for a reason, and that reason is Half-Life. Valve's first game was made made cheap and slow, necessitating big innovations like interactive cutscenes, a focus on environmental storytelling, and employee burnout. Where am I? Fuck. It led the way on modern staples like immersive physics, ragdolls, facial animations, and all kinds of graphical shit over my head. Half-Life's DNA is in every AAA of the 21st century, and its mod scene was so potent it powered whole new genres. Expansion. PlayStation 2 launched in 2000, obliterating all competition by being the first platform powerful enough to enable the creators of Lemmings to open the world up to open world gaming. Grand Theft Auto 3 is a lucid dreaming simulator, placing players in a seamless city of play potential with no real consequences. Kill cops and crash cars, give thanks to Rockstar. From Cyberpunk to Red Dead, every blockbuster of the past 20 years is some form of GTA 3. God, things are getting corporate. The internet intervenes by decentralizing distribution as computers catch up. Tools like RPG Maker make it possible for one person to put out a game with no code required, and forums let you find them for free. Unity Making is an early example. No winning or losing, it's a feast of haunting audiovisual vibes and tragic mystery. The sole developer is anonymous, but I and others thank Kikiyama for pushing game dev as a personal project, like writing or painting. And corporate's catching up to these ideas, but at least it's Gabe. He decided to sell 5 massive games for the price of 1. It's the debut of TF2 and Portal, but it's not just the games. Valve's been pushing their digital distribution platform for years, but it didn't gain steam until the Orange Box released there in 2010, with achievements, playtime tracking, online multiplayer, and a seamless social network. Allowing anyone to self-publish lets Steam set the stage for the industry's final form. Now that online play, seamless loading, and automatic updates can be made by one person, Marcus Pearson made Minecraft. This made indie games the core competitor to the AAA market, but it also woke the beast that bested them both. Players had so much freedom that they could make online games with no mods needed, making Minecraft a hosting platform. Some servers started charging for change of costume, or worse, winning. Corporate saw the torture nexus on the wall and made their move. The live service model has been Fortnite dancing on the grave of gaming ever since. We're done. We're fucking done. Holy shit.
3:30 on the clock.
Yeah. I've done that in 8 minutes. I really went slow for y'all. Thank you so much. This is so much shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I edited all of these GIFs by hand from gameplay footage that I found.
It's incredible.
Yeah, so, questions? We got questions. Anyone? About the entire history of video games? Everest first.
I noticed you didn't mention World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
How do you think that fits into the later couple of decades of this presentation?
It's a big deal. I only got to put in 27 games. I figured Ultima Online is an MMO. I don't care about MMOs. I'll put one MMO in. I know.
I don't really care about them either.
Yeah. Anyone else? Any ideas? Kai?
What's your favorite game?
No. Fuck.
It could just be a game you really liked, not your favorite.
I mean, Ocarina of Time. You know, Ocarina of Time did make it in this presentation, and it's my favorite game ever. And, yeah. You raised your hand at one point.
I was just going to ask a joke question.
Great. Yubi?
What's your favorite era of gamers?
Oh, definitely it's 1977 to 1984. I'm really fascinated by the second generation of gaming consoles. The Atari 2600 is so cool to me, and I'm just infinitely fascinated by the Wild West of the fact that we almost couldn't have third-party video games, and the fact that one guy patented the entire concept of video games, and if we hadn't taken that back from him, we wouldn't have them. It's crazy. Joel?
I didn't really have time to go over the part of it, but there have been different eras of it. Do you have a favorite piece of console war bullshit from any of the eras of it?
I
don't want to put you on the spot.
I love Genesis does what Nintendo does.
It's so classic.
Genesis what Nintendo. I say it in my head all the fucking time. I don't know, console wars are fucking...
It's so stupid.
I love it though.
But I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, well thanks. Cool. Turn this off.